So here we are. It is officially
Playoff time.
playoff time. The regular season is
Yeah.
over. Trevor's got his bye. Danny's got his bye. I think this is Danny's first bye week in playoffs. I don't know about his family league, but man, talk about a turnaround. He was
Hey, can you guys beat him, please?
in his bye week. He's gonna
No,
get
next
run over
week,
in his bye week.
before I play him. Before I play him, please beat him.
Yeah,
Well,
he's on a
If
tear,
you play
man.
him, if you
He's
play
on
him,
an
it'll be in the
absolute heater.
championship, and he's my dark horse pick. So you're in trouble. We'll see.
I'm gonna lose to him. I don't have a choice. He's my kryptonite, dude.
Yeah, it is true. He's undefeated against you.
And
Yep.
I mean, right now,
So-
Danny's on a fucking heater, man.
Oh my God!
Not there.
I'm worried that he's getting a little bit too close to the sun here. You know what I mean? Like every single week, he's just burning so hot, dropping 230 points every game. Trevor's
I mean,
team,
this is-
Dude,
you're
he's like he's like Gosling and hot right now.
Yeah.
It's one of those like Ken Barbie doll hotness.
I
He
will
might
say this,
melt.
that's not an unreasonable thing to think that like the luck will turn at the worst time, because that's what happened to Jordan last year. Like Jordan went into the had a bye week,
white hot.
didn't play,
White hot.
Keenan Allen didn't play, and he put up like 200 something points, like 215 points or some shit, like the highest in that
Mhm.
week. And then came in and just like stomped somebody out. Or like didn't stomp somebody out, and like we all thought he would or something or other. And then he lost to me. It's like by like
And
half.
the championship last year was like a defensive slog in terms of fantasy like production, because it was a low scoring game for both of you last
It was
season.
like
Yeah.
150.
Yeah.
Like
And then
Roquan Smith finally
came
came
down
through
to the
for
half
me,
a
man.
point. Half a point. That's up there with the time Steve won on a stat correction in redraft. That was crazy.
That's maddening.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So real quick here, I'll bring up my stream and we can look at what the bracket currently looks like. And while I'm
Yeah,
doing
let's
that,
go
I'll
through,
explain that Steve is unavailable today for some reason, and it'll be just us today. So
You're
We can have all the hot takes about the Green Bay Packers, and he won't be here.
he won't be able to defend himself.
Yeah. Which, like, in all fairness, like, I wouldn't give him the chance anyway, because there's no reasoning with a fan. And, like, I'm not going to waste my breath on that shit. Like,
Okay, so
nobody
here's
in the right mind is going to be like, oh, yeah, that was a well-reasoned argument. My team is...
yeah. I mean, that's like me trying to explain to you that like Charles Cross misses every single block on the left hand side, and you just suck his dick. It's crazy, bro.
Bruh, that is, like, the worst take you've ever had, because I have literally never said that Charles Cross was, like, elite, and, like, 2 weeks ago I said that
You literally
Abe
did.
Lucas was a better, like, rookie, had a better rookie season than he
That
did.
is not
Like,
what
I don't
that
know
is not-
what you're on.
Not what
but
you.
you should
That is
change your
not
bet.
what you said. That is not what you said when I was literally sitting 5 feet away from you.
I said, when we were at Steve's, I said Charles
Yeah.
Cross could be elite. Like, he was drafted
I don't know.
QB, and he should make it to his second contract.
I was
Sure.
complaining that we drafted him so high because he's not that big. Like he's an okay lineman, but he's not very big, which makes him kind of a bad lineman in the future, and that he misses way too many fucking blocks to be an elite lineman.
Trevor. Was it your dad or you who had a really good point about linemen? I think it was you. You mentioned that it's pretty much for linemen. You either got it or you don't. It's not really something you typically figure out at the end.
No, you don't figure it out. You don't.
You are what you are.
Like, here's what I'll say. I'll say the same thing I told you. The reason why most linemen were in the league out of high school is because you are literally at the point where you can be an elite lineman at 18 years old. The only reason we don't have that right now is because the league wants you to go and get a degree so that there's life after football. Otherwise, every single fucking lineman coming out of high school that was elite would be in the league. That's how it always was. That's how it always would have been.
Yeah, which is reasonable. I mean, I feel like the players have a pretty good idea of like setting themselves up for success after their life in the NFL.
And here's why. Okay, there's only so many schemes. Okay, these coaches, you can learn a playbook as a lineman much easier than a receiver can get used to a new quarterback. Okay, there's a big correlation difference there. So a lineman can watch some film, look at a book, and do his job. A receiver has to watch some film, look at a book, and they have to make a good relationship with those players around them so that they can actually get the points that they need to get or
Because
get
they're
the yards they need to
reliant
get.
on other players to get them
Yeah,
going, you know?
exactly.
Yeah. Makes sense. It's an interesting thing to think about for sure. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
that's our lineman corner segment.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, Trevor's still lying, but whatever.
I'm not lying, dude.
I'm just
How am I lying?
literally
How am I
said
lying,
that he
mister?
was-
I have never
and
played
I've never
fucking
made the point
football
that
my
he
entire
was
life.
going to be elite, and I am absolutely categorically refusing that statement.
Well, I appreciate you refusing that statement because that's not what you said when we were at Steve's. But
you
okay.
heard it. You heard it here first. Joe is
Well.
the Charles Cross stan, just like I'm the Kyle Pitts stan, officially. just yawn. Okay, so here's how the bracket broke down. So like we were saying earlier, Trevor and Danny have the first round bye, so we won't see them until week 16. So you guys can take a nap.
Okay.
And hopefully you don't get any injuries, Danny.
Mm.
In the upper bracket, or not really upper bracket, but I guess it is the upper bracket because of seeding. And we do it a little funny because of the 6 seed rule. But I'm playing Casey. Historically, that always goes poorly for me. So that's going to be really interesting. And whoever wins is going to face Trevor's meat grinder of running backs. So good luck to whoever ends up winning. This week, you got the Chuba Hubbard and the Chase Brown and the all the things, basically. But that's going to be an interesting game for sure. Casey and I have really scrappy teams. And then on the bottom bracket, the 3 seed is playing the 6 seed or the 6 seed rule team in Ben, who had a losing record this season, but managed to score an absolutely insane amount of points and edge out Jon, who is the player who got bumped from playoffs due to the 6 seed rule this season. So we got another Packer Bowl. There will be many, many Packers played on Sunday evening that will determine the future of the league. And the winner of that match will go on to play Danny's team, who is white hot, as we mentioned earlier. So what do you guys think? Is it going to be Danny and Trevor in the championship, or do you think
Historically that's never how it turns out?
Yeah, it usually isn't.
I is like a curse, man. Like
yeah,
it really is.
It feels like
fantasy,
it.
Fantasy football just curses the bye week. I don't know what it is, but it's just like
I will say every time I've won a championship, it's been with a bye, so it's absolutely critical because it's a free win basically. But yeah,
Scott, maybe it's just you're cursed, and so your curse cancels out the fantasy football.
Yeah, that could very
well.
I
think I think for someone like me, it can be a curse, but it can also be a blessing because, like, if I had a week where I wasn't working and I had a bye, I would cook my roster. But like the fact that I have to work fucking 12 hours a day, I don't have the time to go and cook my roster.
So, yeah, I mean that helps. You're thinking about it less, and you've got a first round. You're literally the top seed. You have 10 wins, which is like far and above any other team. The next best, or what was it? Oh, you're 12-2. Sorry, 12 wins.
Yeah.
That's 3 wins more than the highest seed. The next highest
Yeah,
seed, which is Danny at 9. Danny.
You know who I lost to this year?
Danny.
Twice. That's it.
Twice.
I beat everybody else. They're just that fucker.
That is so funny.
Yeah, I mean, Danny's team is like, Danny's got like he's got all the old guys you need, plus like the defense is working out.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the veteran squads versus each other right now.
He did Danny. I said in the offseason that his trade I don't know if it was just him being kind of uncomfortable with the draft process and scouting rookies being so new to fantasy football and just deciding like I'm going to trade away my top assets and draft capital to get good defensive players. I actually think that really paid dividends here because I still think he has the scariest, aside from you, Trevor, he has like the second scariest roster in terms of defensive players. You have the first, in my opinion.
Well, he's also had, like, this is the year that Mush Allen hasn't really shown up all that much.
Aside from last week, which we'll get into that.
Dude, what are you talking about? Josh Allen went the fuck off. He didn't turn to mush.
Oh, you're talking about Mush Allen. My bad.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah,
Josh
he's been good.
Had any of those like games where it's just like, oh, here's 3 picks. You know, like
he's just been like low.
He gave that to Kirk Cousins.
He did. He cursed my boy. But Josh Allen,
our boy.
That wasn't a curse. That was just like not being around Justin Jefferson.
And also having a.
What do you mean? He didn't have Justin Jefferson his entire career until like the last couple of years. And for half of that last couple of years, he had a torn Achilles. He didn't need Justin Jefferson before, dude. He was Mr. Consistent, okay? It didn't matter who it was. Mr. Consistent. He had fucking Thielen before. Whoopie fucking do, Thielen.
Oh, Thielen was amazing in his prime.
He was not goated though. Like
he was pretty goated. He literally broke a record.
Oh my god!
The Triple Crown season.
The whitest receiver known to exist, other than Julian Edelman.
Hell yeah! Thielen's a man. Anyway, so
quite clear. He sucked, and you can go yell for the next 5 minutes. Let's go.
So who do you think?
Why are you so salty, Joe? Let's break it down. Why are you so salty, bro? What's wrong? You want a hug?
From you? Sure, why not?
All right, I'll give you a hug.
Joe's just mad he got bounced for playoffs.
Oh, you did?
That was always going to happen. Yeah. This was just like, dude, this year's brutal, man.
We'll get to it when we talk about the matchups.
Champ is bounced? That's fucked, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, champ.
Yeah, this is the way, dude. This is the actual like normal fantasy. This is the normal fantasy football year, man. Like,
you know what, man? At least you got the belt. That's all that matters.
Hey, man.
You're the number 1 on the trophy.
That's what counts.
So the rest of the time doesn't even matter.
I wish actually Shaq, like this is kind of an aside, but I wish the Shaq meme of like Rangs Ernie was actually not just something the internet made up.
That's what
it was actually real, so we could have that like clip just play whenever like anybody says anything about like winning, like having like the moral victory, you know?
Yeah, but those don't exist in fucking sports. Moral victories don't exist.
So the toilet bowl. This is what the current standings look like in the toilet bowl. So Joe and Josh scored a ton of points this season, but didn't make playoffs, so they get buys. So you guys get flushed automatically to round 2.
Yep.
Yuck.
Which means many hobo fights will be had in the toilet bowl, but the true hobo fights will be between Matt and Jordan, who are the worst teams in the league, so they will square off at a shot to get the first overall pick. And in the lower bracket, the slightly less of a hobo fight, but still a hobo fight nonetheless, will be John and Kelsey. And only slightly because John got bounced because of the 6 seed rule.
All right, so let's just go through this for 1 second because last week Steve made it like entirely incomprehensible.
Right. So the max points 4. Here, I'll get I took a picture of it. I put it in our Discord.
The least max points 4.
There we go. So those max points 4 values. So you can see here the highest max points 4 was you and Josh. So you guys get the buys. The teams who were the worst in the league were Matt and Jordan, so they play each other. And then the other 2 worst teams, other than the bottom 2, are going to be John and Kelsey. So,
hey, almost like that made sense because fucking Steve's not here. That's crazy.
Steve just catching strays. But anyway, what will happen here is the winner of these games that are actually happening outside of the buys will go to the 8th place round. So the winner of both of those brackets will square off for the first overall. The loser will go on to face either you, Joe, or Josh.
And so the 8th place.
Wait, so Joe can play 2 people? He has 2 teams?
No. Joe.
Then why did you say you, Joe, or Josh?
Joe will play either Matt or Jordan, depending on who wins. And Josh
but you said you, Joe, and Josh, so it just confused me.
Sorry,
I'm not in the.
Yeah, I meant to say, by you, comma Joe, you Joe, not you Trevor. Trevor, you're in the playoffs. You don't have to worry about this.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So winners of the upper and lower brackets in Week 16 will compete for the 3rd and 4th overall picks. 5th and 6th will be determined by the toilet bowl.
Sugar, yeah.
So that's basically where it ended up now. I wanted to preface this that there are cases where...
Hang on. So how come the thing that I suggested wasn't put into enactment? Well, I suggested 2 things. Obviously, you did the first one, but the second one where you're fighting for second pick. So like Joe and Josh would have the best standing to get second pick because they're the ones that are fighting for the toilet bowl.
That wasn't.
Was that not part of?
No, that
like
wasn't.
You had to enter it manually, but I thought that was part of the whole fucking deal.
Well, the idea is that you win as fast as possible in the toilet bowl to improve your chances at getting a better pick.
Yeah, because the way that would work, if I was going to be able to compete for the 2nd overall pick, then that would mean that my good team, in terms of points for or max points for, would be getting a leg up on a person who has a quote-unquote bad team,
right,
with less points.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying, right?
Yeah. I mean...
But, like, what I'm trying to get at is the winner at the end of the loser's bracket should get second pick, and the loser at the end of the loser's bracket should get the sacco, very, very last, not like getting jack doo-doo fart for fucking picks.
The idea was that if you win in the toilet bowl, you basically get a better pick. It's to incentivize players playing to win as fast as possible, to encourage competition.
Yeah.
If we decide that we want to tweak it, we can definitely address it in the off season. But basically, the faster you win, the higher your draft pick. The longer you exist in the toilet bowl, the stinkier your team gets, and the stinkier your pick gets.
Yeah, maxing out.
We'll see how it goes. If we don't like it, we can always tweak it. That's why we have a democracy. And we'll address it in the offseason.
This isn't communist China, right?
To change this, to draw out the diagram of the brackets so that there's a visual aid.
I can do that.
So I did it in the vote in the off season. I listed. I labeled it in the actual survey. The link should still be there if you want to go look at it. But yeah,
that's why I was so confused. I didn't have a visual aids, dude.
Yeah, I understand. I
only had regular aids.
As we've seen, just talking about it is not helpful.
Yeah, it's definitely somewhat confusing, but
no, dude, visual aids way better than regular aids. All right, I get it. We're on the same page here,
right? But basically, Joe and Josh have a shot at a 3 and 4 pick at best. That's basically the way this will play out.
Okay. And, I mean, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which are still good picks. They just have to play for it.
The 7th seed and the 8th, what is it? The 7th and the 8th seed are still competitive in terms of the rest of the season, and so we don't have the situation like last year where
Yeah, I had the
Yeah,
option
that
to
was
literally
stupid.
bench my team to get a good pick. Like I could have just benched my whole team.
That was so stupid. I fucking
Yeah.
hated it.
Which I didn't do, obviously. But because
But
that is a
Kelsey did.
possibility, we decided to use the system that we have now.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the matchups from last week.
Did I win?
Let's just start with like myself and Trevor because we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Sorry, buddy.
Joe,
Dude,
so
this is I like as much as I do not like missing playoffs. This whole season in the back half has just been like my team has shit the bed week after week after week, and it's just not like doesn't matter.
what do you attribute
Another
that
weird
to, though?
year.
Wait, what?
What do you attribute that to, though? Like, what has been the main cause of your collapse? Because it's been remarkable.
Well, it started in week 5 with the buys.
It started week 1 with AJ Brown being down, in my opinion.
AJ Brown went down in week
1.
He wasn't week 1 because he torched the Packers.
It was week 2, and then he came back.
See, that's what I'm saying. He went down after that game, and then he was down for like 2 games, wasn't
he? Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it started with like AJ Brown being down, and then right after he came back, Mike Evans went down, and then Amari Cooper was being Deshauned, and like fuck Deshaun Watson. Like I don't know if there's that much else to say about him. And then
Deshaun Watson was fucking.
My most important player from last year, Isaiah Pacheco, got Andy Reided.
Oh no, it's not Andy Reided, bro. Don't call it that, dude. Come on, man.
Basically, what happened was like I lost 4 starters at the beginning of the year, and like had some like weird luck, which made it seem like I was more competitive than I was. But like you can't overcome 4 starters of that caliber.
No.
In this league, like you just can't trade out of that. Like that's just not realistic. Like I don't have the assets for that. Like no one has the assets for that.
Also,
well, there is a trade, okay, that you could have done, you could have attempted, and I actually might have bit. So if you would have tried to trade me Isaiah Pacheco, because we're in a league that we get to keep these players, right? For a running back that I obviously have, and something to sprinkle on top, a receiver maybe that's injured, and for a receiver that I have that is not injured, I might have gone for it. Because I was pretty hurting on the receiver end, but I wasn't hurting in the running back end, and you could have solved both of our problems. But I never brought it up because it's like I was still chilling. Like I had no reason.
Your team was cooking.
Yeah.
So there's
like the actual players that I would have wanted to move off of that, like. Well, the players that I would want to move off, or Calvin, were Calvin Ridley, who had upside and has turned out to be like the league leader in yards, but just like hasn't been fantasy relevant because he doesn't score touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, there's little value in that kind of thing, and it's just like everything that could have gone wrong once again did, which is like normal fantasy stuff for me. So it's fine.
It do be like that.
It do be like that.
Also, AJ Brown has kind of been affected by the reemergence of Saquon. Like the Eagles do not need to use him.
Not only has he been affected by the emergence of Saquon, but he's been affected by Mr. I want every touchdown fucking piece of shit quarterback. Like
the Vulture.
He doesn't 1-yard wonder.
Yeah, dude, he literally steals every single touchdown from your guy. Like every single like the only people that scored touchdowns this year on the Eagles was Saquon, and I'm so irritated right now. I'm forgetting his name. Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Like, that's how irritated I am about him in fantasy. On top of like who he is as a player, he sucks. Literally, the only reason he looks good is because he has all of these amazing weapons around him. Like he sucks. And I fucking hate him. Like
I think the other thing that I will point out too. And this isn't just like is like my defense this year, like started out white hot and then just like absolutely crumbled.
Yeah,
Like
Brian Branch
That's
disappeared.
that's not good. So and I said this last year. I think in this league, currently, still the way we have it set up, the defense is just always going to be what wins because it's so hard to tune it to be normal. Like you either have a defensive player that gets absolutely ridiculous amount of points or they get nothing. Like that's just the way defense is scored and the way it's done.
That's why I like linebackers, because they have a really good floor. They get 9-10 tackles. So you have a nice floor of like, 8-10 points. That's pretty good.
I mean, the biggest difference from this year from last year is like
It's a lot better this year, but it's still not there yet.
Yeah,
the difference for me
changes
in this
we made
year, and I don't know how many other people like actually experienced this, but like Montez Sweat got hurt in the beginning of the year. The Bears suck, and like so instead of 12 like sacks this year, he had like 5. Like
that hurts
for a dumpster fire. Like Quinnen Williams like has done like every year he has like some amazing play. Like he picks some dude, like he gets a pick, blocks somebody, gets a safety or something or other. But like he didn't do that this year because the Jets are just such a dumpster fire.
Yeah, you've noticed there are business decisions being made on that team across the board, week to week.
And they're like, I want to be alive.
Yeah.
And then Brian Branch like has been like hurt throughout the year, but like the Detroit like secondary is complete trash. Like my next best,
they're all hurt.
He is Kyle Duggar, and he's been hurt and in concussion protocol like every other fucking week. It's not great.
I'm worried for the Lions in the playoffs with how banged up their defense is. I'm afraid they're just going to get boat raced.
Well, they'll be able to keep up.
We'll see.
They'll be able to keep up.
We'll see.
That's for sure. They can control the clock.
Hopefully, Goff stays hot. You know what I mean?
They don't even need to. They got fucking running backs for days, bro.
Yeah, you
just hand the ball off.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but you still need a good quarterback.
Dude, clock control. Like there are no white people in Detroit that need to be touching the ball in playoff time. No white people need to be doing that.
Literally, Goff can just hand the ball off to the person that needs to be doing the fucking touching of the ball, and then that's it. They're done.
I mean, there's one job like Goff fall over and get it to Montgomery and then win a game. Like it's fine.
Yeah, as long as he gets the ball off to the right player, they'll be all right.
Yeah, but no, it's just like my defense fell apart. I ran into some bad injury luck that was like compounded over like just how the timing worked out. Like, yeah, no, it was like
we're both canceled.
7. It was like, oh, this is not going well.
Well, at the best case scenario, you're gonna have like, a top half of the first round pick to take away from it, and your team's good. You just kind of got really unlucky, so I'm sure you'll come back.
Got the injury bug, bro.
Yeah.
Got the injury bug.
That's what happened.
You just didn't come back from it like Danny did. Danny somehow survived like the worst injury bug I've ever seen.
Well, his injury bug wasn't a real injury bug. His injury bug was like, I'm achy and I'm not in football shape, and oh my god, I'm finally in football shape. We're good, guys. Let's go. Like,
maybe.
All right, but congratulations on your absolute steamrolling of this league this year. Good luck in the playoffs, bud.
Puka Nacua dropping 40.
Wait,
Chase Brown being like every single week having a floor of like 20 points is just ridiculous.
It's insane. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah,
I don't deserve this.
Better than his brother.
This is what happens when you don't pay attention to fantasy. You actually like have a good time.
It's true. It's so nice waking up on Sunday and looking at my phone and being like
200 points again. Jesus fucking Christ.
No, I checked out of this week when Mike Evans and AJ Brown at the end of the first quarter had zeros, and I was like, "Oh,
and you're playing Trevor." Yeah,
this is done. All right, moving on.
All right, Jordan,
I was hanging out with the baby.
The baby. Yeah, I was hanging out at Trevor's this weekend with my kiddo, watching football, eating pizza.
I was teaching her what the football does.
Yeah.
And teaching her who to hate the most. Sorry. Anyway.
Speaking of who you hate the most, Jalen Hurts, another, game where he's just stealing all the touchdowns. That's what he does. That's what he does. Pat Mahomes continues to be disappointing. I mean, this was pretty much the death
Isn't
knell.
that's fucking weird, dude?
No,
What is going on?
It's not weird. It's like it's like their team, like the way that the Chiefs have made their run this year is we are not a good offense. We are an average defense, and we have Pat Mahomes.
That's what they did last year too. Got a Super
We're going
Bowl.
to bet that Patrick Mahomes in the fourth quarter is better than your team, and that's not the worst bet. Is it going to work out?
Well, but it used to be. It used to be. It used to be. We have Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to throw it to his favorite player, Travis Kelsey. Now he doesn't have that at all.
Yep. They just have
Travis
a
Kelsey is
bunch of
fucking
guys.
having his soul sucked out by fucking Taylor Swift.
Yep.
And there's nothing we can do about it.
Good for him. Happy for him.
I'm not.
Him, dude. Yeah, man. We'll see. I kind of wonder, like, this is actually one of the more interesting things just about, like, old players right now, is whether or not Travis Kelsey will actually, like, do the whole, like, oh, no, I'm Gronk now. I'm just, like, good in the playoffs. Like, we'll see if he can do it.
My question is how much longer he'll actually play. We'll see.
Kelsey?
Yeah. Maybe.
A couple more years.
Old.
He's
couple more years.
36 now?
Who cares? Look at Zach Ertz. He's still on the fucking field.
That's true.
He's like 90.
He's super old.
God, Travis old. Kelsey really 36? Wow.
Yeah.
No, he's like 34, right? 32? He's our age.
So next to death. Word.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, big plays in this game were Zach Charbonnet, who finally fucking did something.
Who's gonna?
Bro, I've been saying that for a couple weeks, man. He's like turning on something. There's something going on with Starbs.
He's finally got some good blocking. I've noticed that the Seahawks finally switched to, or committed more, I guess, to like an inside run scheme, which is what Charbonnet does best. He can't deal with the zone stuff. We actually started running more
almost like
blocking
if you
schemes.
hit the 3 and the 4 hole and not the 1 and the 2 and the 6, you'll be okay. Because we can't do fucking checkdowns. We can't do sweeps. But we got big enough fucking tackles that we can fucking run the 3-4 hole. They make holes.
Sometimes.
Unless you're on fucking Charles Cross's side. And then...
This was like the first game in forever I've actually seen the offensive line get any kind of push.
I think
I wonder how much of this is more the Cardinals just kind of like collapsing than it is.
Well, they don't really have a defensive front. Like, they don't really have a defensive line to talk about. Like, they're easy to move out of the way.
They've been. It was also like Ryan Grubb stopped doing like, hey, we're just gonna run power and like our line is better than your line, and we actually like did different things.
Yeah,
like. As much as it's not great to do it this late in the season, at least that's something.
Adjustments.
Well, see, but here's
maybe there's hope there.
Yeah, hopefully.
It doesn't really matter, though, because, like, if you're a defensive player, you see the scheme lineup for a run play on those holes the fucking second they set. Yep. So, like, if you see Sharps a half a step off to the left of Geno Smith, that motherfucker is hitting the hole on the opposite side. Yeah. That's just what's going on. Because Geno can't fucking play action. We saw it. He can't. He can't fucking play action.
If I'm sitting on my couch and I can tell that it's a run play, you bet your ass the defense knows it's a run play.
Fuck yeah, they do.
So that's a problem. But
yeah,
you know, it's good to see.
I think that's more of just. I mean, other than like the play, like disregard the play, like the play action, which requires like. You actually being able to run the ball, that is actually a very big concern, is that you can actually tell when they're going to run what play they're going to run. It's not great.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you know what the Seahawks do, right? Because as much as you guys talk about Grubb, like they still do the same shit, right? So you have a fucking 3-4 or a check down first play. Second play, you're throwing to DK. Third play, you're either, depending on how many yards you have left, you're either A, throwing to JSN or DK again, or B, doing a check down to get a little closer to that line so you can do a punt. Like
Yeah.
that is it. There is no other set of plays because Gino can't do it. And oh yeah, by the way, our throws are predetermined. So you know it's going to DK. You know it's going to JSN because that's how that has to be set for fucking Dum in the back.
Tyler
He fucking
Lockett
can't
is
look down the field, dude.
Also,
Tyler
a
Lockett
non-factor.
Tyler Lockett was open and DK was open so fucking much. He never threw to them. The only time he threw to them was when they had fucking triple coverage on him. It was like, what are you doing? What is happening right now? It made no sense.
Yeah, Seahawks are interesting. I'm really excited for this weekend. I think it's going to be the Green Bay game is going to reveal a lot about this team. Both teams, really.
Yeah, no, I mean, both teams, like, whoever wins will be like, the narrative will be they're a ex-playoff team,
Yeah.
Say whatever you want, but,
Right.
like, that's, like, going to be the narrative.
Just based on how they've played this season, I think the Packers are more consistent. I wouldn't be surprised if they won, but I think with how the defense and the offensive line has been improving for the Seahawks, I think they're going to give them hell. It's going to be hard. It's the Green Bay Packers.
I honestly think we're going to be today, but we're still not going to be able to get into the playoffs somehow, even though we'll win the fucking conference because that's just how the year's going. Like,
yeah,
I
some crazy
the only
thing.
way the Seahawks win is if it's like every other, like, you always want to make your team like the other opponent one-dimensional, but like the only way to beat the Packers is to take away Josh Jacobs. Like, as much as like whoever wants to say
make Jordan Love make bad decisions.
bro, that's the thing that though Josh Jacobs is not going to run the ball. We have Leonard Williams.
I mean, that's very fair, but it's like if you're going to make your bet, you have to bet that Jordan Love passing is a worse play than Josh Jacobs, which I think it is, because as much like as hyped as like the Green Bay like wide receiver core has been, like they dropped the ball too much. Like they just dropped the ball, and it's not just like, oh, Dontavian Wicks drops the ball. It's like Jaden Reed like has like some insane drop rate this year. It's crazy.
Bro, he dropped a fucking goose egg last week. What the, after dropping 26 points to a goose egg? Who the fuck is this guy?
I mean, this is the basic thing about having a number one like a Saquon or a Travis Kelsey in his prime, or a Tyreek Hill or an AJ Brown or a Justin Jefferson. It's not about like, oh, do they tilt the field? Do they do this? It's like, can you throw it to them, and does that feel like a good play? And that's like really what a number one is. It's like, is this a good play no matter what's going on?
No, I agree.
Yeah, Jaden Reed is damn near drop a game at this point.
Yeah, no, it's not great.
That's not good.
Yeah, no, I mean, if Josh Jacobs goes off, like the Packers win. I mean, that's just kind of how it works.
Well, I mean, he is a GOAT, so.
On the other side,
imagine going to. Oh yeah, keep going.
On the other side, that Rams Buffalo game was absolutely ridiculous. I think everyone got home on this one. It was just like Puka Nacua went crazy. Kyron Williams got 1 million points. Matthew Stafford went crazy. Like everybody.
I would like to say fuck you and fuck everything about you, because James Cook definitely did not.
I meant on the Ram side, but yeah, James Cook was an interesting like.
Yeah, you know how you're saying Mush Allen didn't appear. Well, are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
I mean, Mush Allen didn't turn to mush, but he made my players turn to mush.
I mean, we'll talk about Josh Allen when we get to Danny's game, but yeah, James Cook didn't get shit in that game, but yeah, Kyron Williams, it's pretty good at $18 pickup off the waiver wires there, Josh.
Yeah, easily the best waiver wire pickup of our league
so far.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Josh snagged him after the preseason.
Both drafts.
Yeah.
When did Josh Allen go to the waiver?
Not Josh Allen,
Kyron Williams.
Oh, Kyron. Oh, I thought about grabbing him, but I have enough of those there running backs.
You know those top tier running backs.
Yeah, I mean, that's
rough.
That's a
Feels
terrible
so
decision.
bad for you.
Yeah, that's a terrible decision. You should have picked him up.
No, because I would have had to drop a defensive player for it.
Yeah, Trevor can't be dropping those defensive players. He just doesn't. He can't.
What
do
if I
it.
drop
It's physically
Khalil Mack and he
impossible.
pops off, dude? What if he pops off?
Why would you drop Khalil Mack?
He
Don't you
always
have
will.
some sort of like trash like DB?
It was a joke, dude. Come on.
Yeah, but you have a trash DB you could have done.
No, they all make the same point. Which one's trash? Because they're all trash.
Anyway, let's get back to the actual matchup.
T. Higgins didn't get a TD. Tee-Hee, no TD this week.
Yeah,
This was an interesting week for defenses. It's like all the stud defensive players really didn't do anything. Like Andrew Van Ginkel didn't do shit.
What are you talking about? TJ Watt's back, baby.
He didn't really do anything either last week.
He picked up 20. He dropped a 20 burger.
We didn't.
that's not.
He did.
No, he got 7 points.
What? I thought it was 17. My bad.
He got 7. Ray McCloud continues to be the bane of my existence.
I want to applaud Ray McCloud for all the things that he puts Skot through.
Yeah, it's very painful.
Pretty much, dude.
You're welcome.
Kirk Cousins just like targets this guy and nobody else, and it drives me crazy. And Zach Robinson dials up every single play, every single like screen play, like in breakers over the middle into the second level that Kyle Pitts could be doing. Nah, it's all Ray. So yeah, good for you.
It feels like Kirk like just doesn't like can't generate power from his legs. I mean, it's obvious he's got an Achilles, but like he just doesn't have the same velocity on his throws that he used to.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins.
I think he's depressed.
Tom Brady made in his career in the NFL. He made $333 million and had 35 playoff wins. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins is set to make $412 million. So far, he's earned $295 million, and he has 1 playoff win.
Okay. What does that do? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China, bro? Tell me.
Kirk Cousins, man.
Kirk Cousins good at doing business. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, he is. His agent is working overtime.
No. Tom Brady took massive pay cuts to go to the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady played 10 years ago when $20 million was what $200 million is today.
Well, he retired a couple of years ago.
Right. But his money went a lot further.
Yeah.
Even 5 years ago, his money went a lot further.
I mean,
so that kind of money in today's day and age, it doesn't really hit the same, at least to me.
I just think it's funny.
There's something to be said about how the cap works, and like, you know, you can't compare old numbers to new numbers, but like the percent of the cap matters, and I just don't have that off the top of my head.
Well, let me just say this: how much does Dak Prescott make?
A lot.
Too much. I think he's like 55 or 60 mil a year.
If we're gonna complain about a quarterback who's making too much fucking money, let's talk about that guy, because he has never done anything, in my opinion, warranting the highest paid player ever.
Isn't that who's the current highest?
It's Dak.
Is it Dak?
He's the last quarterback to get paid. Yeah, no, I mean, I think
it's Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, you can say that, you know, whatever you want about Dak and his like inability to like win playoff games or whatever, but like that's just like the price of doing business. I would say, you know, if you're looking at like who's overpaid, not quarterbacks are very distorted.
That's the price it costs for him to fuck Jerry's wife. That's what it costs. Okay, let's be real here.
Price of doing business, I guess.
like
gross.
I mean, because like at this point, like, I mean, maybe Jordan Love is in that tier. I'm not sure what he got,
yes,
but
he's
like
55 mil.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That seems super overpaid for like, and like 55 is super overpaid for anybody not named like Mahomes. Like, yeah, I think that's about
it. I agree with you.
Yeah, quarterback
Isn't that weird?
are definitely making.
I mean, the way this started out, hell yeah.
It's making the league like I don't know. It's putting teams.
You know who
in interesting
deserves that money this
situations.
year? You know who deserves that money this year? Pickle, dude.
Saquon.
Dude, Pickle, dude.
Oh, Baker.
Dude, Pickle, dude.
Baker Mayfield's definitely making that.
He's earning his check.
He's earning his
Mayfield
checks.
One of the best contracts in the league, dude.
Yeah.
Like not
He's setting
not
himself
for him,
up for
but the
money,
team.
money.
Like that dude has a terrible contract for him.
Yeah. It's awful.
Also, just want to shout out Baker Mayfield being an $11 like waiver wire pickup. Thank fucking God, saving my ass.
QBs in the one
Yeah,
QB league.
Was it for me? Did I drop him?
Nope.
'Cause
No one drafted him.
No one drafted him. I think he was just.
I
on
thought
the
I had him
waiver
for a
wire.
little bit.
Which was a
I thought I
complete
had him for a little
oversight
bit.
on our part.
No, I thought I had him for a little bit during
Well,
last year for my my Kirko problems.
No.
yeah, you just he was on waivers because he was with the Panthers. So
Yeah.
everyone
That's
was just
why,
Looking,
yeah.
Everyone was just looking
Yeah.
at him like, eh.
Yeah, no one believed in him because he was on his third team in like 3 years.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, I believed in him. I just don't believe in the Panthers.
Which is, I mean, that's not unfair. Like, but yeah, no. Like, thank fucking God for Baker Mayfield and just being as bakery as he is.
I love that dude.
All right, Danny and Jordan. Jordan, another wet fart, unfortunately. But there's Josh Allen. Josh Allen he beat Michael Vick's record for fantasy points.
Yeah,
No.
out of control for that game.
You are looking at the best quarterback
The number
performance in NFL history in terms of fantasy points scored.
Yeah, was not mush.
He made James Cook mush though, which is funny.
Yep, he did. And he still couldn't get Amari Cooper a goddamn touchdown. Like,
Yeah, wide receivers getting traded mid-season is tough.
He's never good.
Tough to deal with.
Never good.
It works out following season after they've had time to do.
How do you build that camaraderie?
Exactly. It takes time. It's hard.
It takes time.
It's not
and
like
I think the other thing too is like it's not just the camaraderie among like, the team and the players in the locker room. It's if you don't have alignment between your front office and your coaching staff, and your front office does some shit, your coaching staff doesn't know what to do, and so they have no plan. That's like, I think that's like the big thing that happened with Deontay Johnson. Like, I don't think Deontay's like necessarily like a bad player or whatever, but he obviously got traded, and there was no plan by the coaching staff to use him. And the front office was like, "Yeah, this is a great deal. Of course we're going to do this." Like, yeah, like why wouldn't we trade for a quality receiver for a fourth rounder? That's like not even a fourth rounder, a pick swap, basically.
Yeah, they basically got him for free.
Yeah, like that's a good deal. But like if the coaching staff doesn't want to use you, or doesn't know how, or has no plan, then it's like, kind of a moot point.
You can understand his frustration, and his ego is definitely not going to let him be a fifth option, like rotational player. So
yeah,
you can see what
that was
happened
like
there.
bad business on the side of like the Ravens and blah blah blah.
Well, but like,
it's very much just like if you don't have a coach that has a plan for you, that's bad.
Yeah, but what other offense can he go to? Because, like, in my opinion, the only place he can go is KC, and no one's trading him there. No one's going to give KC a weapon like that.
Well, it doesn't matter now because the trade deadline's done. He's a free agent after the end of this season, and which is why he's so mad. Is because like this was his like contract year.
Yeah, is a prove it deal.
So,
that he signed
I
with
get
Carolina.
it, but it's just like, but it's this. It goes back to what Skot was saying, and like the whole like, it's tough to be traded.
Yeah,
mid season,
especially traded twice in the span of 1 year. That's tough.
Want to bet he's going to be a Chief?
I don't
doubt
know.
it. They got D-Hop, and then they got
D-Hop, and they've got Hollywood coming back.
They got Hollywood coming back. Yeah, they'll probably.
How long is D-Hop going to be in the league, you guys?
How old is he? He's 32.
32. He could go another couple years, I think.
He's got one more year as like a Eagles Julio Jones type. Like we hear his name every now and then, but he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, every time I see him run, he looks like old Julio, but he's just or not Julio. He looks like old D-Hop, but he's just like slower. You know what I mean? Like he has his insane catch radius is there, but he's just
it's
not.
called getting fucking old.
Yeah, he's just
Like-
he's clearly looks old. He looks like a 30-year-old wide receiver. You know what I mean?
Hey, Scott, did you know that D-Hop is old?
He is old.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. Like he's not what the Chiefs need. The Chiefs are trying to go for fucking like lifetime records right now with the Super Bowl. They're gonna pick Amari Cooper up. Like that's just gonna happen. I'm telling you right now.
I mean, Amari is a free agent after the end of the year, so that's not an unreasonable thing to think.
And if I was Amari, you know who the first person I'm calling? The fucking Chiefs.
I'm calling Mahomes.
I want that quarterback.
Yeah, it's like, hey, are you going to throw to me?
Yeah. Who else am I going to go to? Okay.
Word. I mean, yeah. Anyway, let's get back to this matchup. Like,
yeah. So, Danny's team, top to bottom, again, just had a ridiculous output. Like every single player contributed in some degree, for the most part, except for a couple of defensive duds, which happened. We talked about it.
Jordan Addison absolutely has
smoked.
Just had a fucking year, man. Like,
absolutely smoked.
In and out of the lineup, just like insane games. Like just some of it's just like insane.
The other thing is that he proved it while JJ was out last season. So he's a rookie, and he performed well. Like he wasn't, amazing when JJ was out, but he was producing. He was productive. It wasn't just like he disappeared entirely. Jordan Addison is clearly a good player. He was a first-round pick.
I mean, he was the second best route runner in that draft, like after JSN. And the thing that he has that JSN doesn't have is like that.
Is a pair of balls.
A pair of balls.
Yeah. I mean, come on, dude. If JSN hears footsteps, you can see him wince and drop the ball. Like he's been hit too hard too many times because Geno's dumping him the ball over the middle of the field. That's not where he belongs. He doesn't belong over the middle of the field. Like it's not his fault he has no balls, dude. Fucking our team cut him off, but like that's just the way it is.
I don't know. I feel like they've used him pretty well this season. He definitely looks like a completely different player from last year. I welcome it. It actually looks pretty good.
Well, yeah, but like you can only take so many shots before you start getting scared. Yeah, and you can see it. His first couple of quarters, he's okay. Third, fourth quarter, he falls apart because he's been hit too many times.
That's fair.
I don't know. Execution of your players is really important in my opinion.
Well, the Vikings are definitely doing the right thing with Jordan Addison. They're setting him up for success. JJ just takes so much coverage away. He gets doubled, tripled every single play. It's disgusting. And Jordan Addison's definitely taking advantage of that. Definitely going to be a key piece for Danny in the playoffs, so it's going to be interesting how it plays out with their schedule because they've got Chicago, which has been a stingy defense, but it also doesn't really matter because Danny has a bye. But I would imagine he still produces because Chicago is just kind of checked out. And then for the fantasy semifinals and then the championship, you have Seattle and then Green Bay, which are huge question marks. So
yeah,
the Seattle game doesn't matter to them as much as the Green Bay game.
And like Rashawn Gary, and after that, it's like who? I mean, I'm sure Steve will be all mad, but whatever, fuck him.
Yeah, I don't know. Green Bay secondary has always been pretty bad.
I don't know if Jaire's actually had a good year and how they're using him.
I think he's on IR now, isn't he? He's hurt, I thought.
That sucks. I like Jaire, man. He's good.
Oh, he was hurt. And it looks like he'll be back this week.
Yeah.
Right in time for the Seahawks. So that'll be interesting. Yeah. Good luck, Danny. Micah Parsons needs to wake up, though. 2 points. 2 points ain't going to cut it.
He needs to stop being caught on camera, like being all mad.
Yeah, he was real upset after that. Absolute ridiculous
Like, you can be mad
end
if
to
he
that
just
game.
wasn't caught on camera doing it.
Yeah,
well, when the camera is directly pointed at you all the time,
because it's Michael Parsons and it's the Cowboys.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the obvious thing is to, like, leave the Cowboys, come to the Seahawks. No one pays attention to us.
He's not gonna do that.
He's not going to do that.
Yeah, he's not gonna do that. He'll go to an AFC.
You don't
team
leave
if
Jerry
he-
money, dude. You don't leave Jerry money, dude. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, also Buda Baker absolutely needs to, like, dude, that guy, I feel so bad for Buda, man. He get out here getting 18 tackles as a DB, like, just clean up a fucking mess. Like,
Yeah,
He was all over.
he's definitely getting his money's worth.
Oh yeah.
he's getting his money's worth, but that dude needs to be on a team that's going somewhere, man. Like, he's been on the Cardinals too long.
Buda
Like,
Baker,
I agree.
Buda Baker wants to be a Cardinal for life, though. Like he's been clear.
I don't think he
that
does.
It's his team. I don't
Get
know,
it.
man.
It's just, man. I mean, put him on a good team, dude. God damn.
Bring him to Seattle.
Every single
Bring him
time.
home.
Every single time he plays
Bring him
Seattle
home.
too, he plays so goddamn hard.
Well, that's
Yeah, you know
because
why?
we got people
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, he's got people here, dude. We are his people. Like,
Yeah. He was, like, I'm pretty sure he was heated that the Seahawks didn't take him.
Yeah,
we couldn't afford him.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Yeah, like we don't ever take anybody from UW or from Wazoo ever. The last time we did, we took some fucking reject from the practice squad.
No, we took Abe
And-
Lucas, dude.
Yeah, we did take Abe.
Abe Lucas is a Wazoo guy.
Yeah.
I don't fuck Wazoo.
Facts.
Unless you're Gardner, unless you're Uncle
You
Rico,
are
dude.
gonna have to share that opinion. I have no strong thoughts one way or the other.
Unless you're Uncle Rico, you can fuck off.
Sorry about your season, Jordan. Christian McCaffrey. We'll see him next year, maybe.
McCaff need no, he gone.
Maybe
He gone. He did. That nigga did.
the way the Niners do business, I'm so skeptical if he's ever going to be anything again.
I think though that he got Jawan Jennings off the waiver wire. I think he'd been passed around a couple times.
Yeah, he was on the wire at the beginning of the season for sure.
See, for some reason, Jordan didn't play him. He had a monster game though. They paid him in the offseason, and with the situation in their wide receiver room, he's looking like his stock is up for sure.
I mean, Jawan Jennings is like, he's a good player. I don't want to say that, I don't want this to come off like he's a bad player, but he and Khalil Shakir are like the same dude. It's like, you are very good at route running, you're good at over the middle, and you're good after the catch, but you are not fast.
Yeah, high effort, limited in some aspects for sure.
He's a
No,
good
it's
player.
like he's an imperfect player that's like he's good at football. I think his transaction history is interesting too. Steve picked him up, dropped him. Jordan grabs him, drops him, then picks him up
Wait,
again.
Steve dropped a wide receiver that might have been worthwhile keeping around? Who'd have
Oh
thought?
no, this is I think, yeah, this is in the off season.
Yeah, Juwan was a nobody, dude. Like that's the thing. Like
He didn't really do anything last year, really, and then he got hurt at the end of the season. But
I don't know, man.
unless you watched him in college,
They
you would
like
have no fucking idea who he is. Like
Kyle likes him. Kyle
at least
Shanahan
for
likes
me,
him. So
he's he wasn't able to be on a taxi squad, which is probably why he wasn't on a roster.
Yep.
But he was also he had the same kind of breakout that Gabe Davis did that should have gotten him a roster spot somewhere. I'll put myself in that same boat of taking shots on players is not a bad thing, and keeping them around is worthwhile sometimes. And
I don't know, man. I've been holding on to Michael Myers for long now, and he's not really doing anything.
well, that's not exactly taking a shot on a guy who's never broken out, and also getting Brock Bowers.
Yeah, he got Brock Bowers. That's really what happened to him.
also Aiden O'Connell and now he's got Desmond Ridder throwing him the
Did
ball.
you see that Aiden O'Connell might fucking play? Like the Raiders are like, oh, he might play on Monday, and it's like,
No, there's no way.
bro, what?
No, they have to play Desmond Ridder against the Falcons so that he can have a career game and get like 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. And prove Arthur Smith right, because that's how the Falcons work.
Drama is showing.
You have some sort of love-hate thing going on in your mind, don't you, right now? You're getting hard.
A little bit.
Is it your Falcons return home game, dude?
Yes. I'm a bird bro at heart, okay?
Hey, we're all bird bros, man, except for the Eagles. Fuck the Eagles.
Yeah, fuck the Eagles. Fucking
Unless Michael Vick's on their team, and then I'm okay with it. But, like, Michael Vick isn't on their team, so...
All right, Steve. I wish Steve was here to explain himself. That's probably why he's not here right now, is because his team absolutely shit the bed. And, of course...
I mean, he was so hot.
After talking all that shit.
He, like, went all in on that dude. He thought he was going to have a game.
And 2 points. 2.8 points. Sorry, Steve. And he held the
whole Aaron Rodgers thing, which he's explained the entire season.
He held Aaron Rodgers from the summer just for this game. And he actually had a good game. I think it was his best play. It was his best play. Except for Keyshawn Nixon. Except for Keyshawn Nixon, who had a great game. But quarterback, it was his highest scoring player at only 26 points. And their season is over. The Jets are done. I think we can
they're done.
We can ship them off to the desert.
Holding out hope that they do not retain Hassan Reddick and that he goes somewhere on a prove it deal and he proves it.
You think Breece Hall is going to stay?
Yeah.
If they pay they're going to running back, so yes, because who's going to pay a running back? I mean, like. Saquon got $12 million, and so did Darnell Mooney. And who would you rather have?
Right.
Yeah, well, Saquon had a lot of proving to do, my boy.
Saquon's killing it.
Yeah, he had a lot to prove.
I mean, from a standpoint...
years, he played 2 fucking games and broke an ankle.
Yeah, from a standpoint of
health, a glass running back.
Absolutely. I mean, he had his rookie season was incredible, and then he just basically was dealing with injuries. But we all know the story with the Giants. That is just mismanagement up and down.
Agreed. And on a field that has really bad turf.
Oh my God.
Like,
yeah. I feel like that's definitely something to consider too. And when you put Aaron Rodgers in that same context, it's like he did tear his Achilles on MetLife turf. So
it's also
a lot of people
usable that the NFL has turf because they're gonna like rip out all of it to put in grass fields for the World Cup, and like they're not batting an eye at any of that. Just saying.
Then they should just leave it grass.
It's almost like adding more games increases the load on these players' bodies and increases the likelihood that they're going to have severe injuries playing football.
Hey, Scott, did you ever consider this, though? Money.
Money is a factor. That's for sure.
So all these billionaires want.
Hey, did you ever consider this? The NBA plays way more games, dude. So, like we gotta.
That's true. I'm sure that's the motivation. They want to be the NBA. They want to.
Can you imagine an 82-game season for the NFL?
82 NFL games.
Like, people walking out there in casts and shit.
Yeah.
You're getting CFL players halfway through the season.
Josh Gordon would be a late season star for sure. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. They need him.
Dude,
I'm picking him up right now.
AB, there wouldn't be fucking enough people.
Jamar Chase, dude. My God.
Dude, talk about a pass funnel.
This guy is just scorched earth right now.
Do you think he gets the Triple Crown this year?
He should, at this rate. Like
receiving touchdowns.
The discourse about like who's better, JJ or Jamar Chase, is like really interesting conversation. Like Justin Jefferson is definitely consistent, but he does not put up production like Jamar Chase does.
Well, that's because he can.
Pass funnel because his team doesn't suck. Like the Vikings don't suck. Like the way you put up these stats, like is that you suck or that you're the only option. Like that was what was so impressive with Cooper Kupp was like that team didn't suck.
Yeah, and he was the focal point.
Yeah, like
Jamar
he was
Chase,
just better than everybody else that year.
Jamar Chase and Chase Brown are the Bengals. That's it.
Yeah.
Like T. Higgins gets his when he's healthy, but he's definitely not like the focal point. It's clear their game plan is clearly throw the ball to Jamar Chase, and when we're running the ball, we're going to be giving it to Chase Brown and calling screens for him because he's fast and he can hit the hole with burst, and he does it 20 times a game. So
and vision.
Yeah, he's a good player.
It's like he looks more than 2 yards in front of him. It's really cool.
He's a good player. Yeah. Currently wide receiver 1 on the season. Another 40 burger. Probably going to lock Kelsey into a good draft pick because she is not in it.
Yeah.
Rip.
Fucking.
This sucks, man. Antoine Winfield is pretty much done for the season, I think.
Dude, he had a snake-bitten season. This is like the second major injury he's had.
Yeah, because he missed a lot of the beginning of the season as well. But, like, yeah, definitely a premier DB in the league. Still relatively young.
Like,
He'll
that's
be around.
the safety, man. Like,
who?
The safety.
Who?
Antoine Winfield.
The best safety in the league.
Oh, yeah. Hands down.
Yeah.
Dude's a baller. Unfortunately, he's probably
He's Earl Thomas in his prime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I think that's a fair comparison. Yeah. That dude fucking, like, Winfield balls hard. Like, that dude balls.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I wish I could pick DBs better, but, like, I won't talk about it. They're just bad receivers, okay?
Yeah, the Travis Hunter discussions in the offseason are going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
I just want to say this about Travis Hunter. Like, it's cool and all that he's essentially just Deion Sanders right now, but like,
yeah, literally,
there's a 0% chance that like an NFL team drafting him in the top like 10 is going to be like, you're going to play both sides of the ball as a rookie.
That's not happening.
We'll see.
That's not happening.
We'll see.
The NFL is full of old fucking fuddy-duddy, like, traditional ass, like, motherfuckers. They're gonna make him choose a team, like, a side.
The only person who might allow that is on the Denver Broncos. He's the only coach in this league who would even consider doing something so old school. Having gadget players is just not smart from a financial standpoint because you end up losing them to injuries. You just do.
Especially at the positions that you're asking him to play where it's a corner, and if you're going to play a corner, you play a corner 100% of the snaps. Like, it's a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah, it definitely would be a serious amount.
And it would be a waste to use him as a 100% corner, and then all of a sudden, he has one play on offense. Oh, I wonder where the ball's going.
Yeah, that's the problem is, like, you can't have sub-packages for a dude if you're going to target him. Like, you're just giving tells at that point.
Yeah, unless you're using him as a decoy, like on a decoy play, but then people get swiped to that. Like, I don't know.
And
it doesn't feel worthwhile.
We saw it with Taysom Hill. Dude did a lot of stuff. He didn't play on both sides of the ball, but he definitely.
And look at how his career turned out. He's fucking banged up and hurt and fucking
30-something. But like,
he's 36.
I mean, I also like if I'm Travis Hunter, I don't want to play corner, man. I'm trying to get that bag.
Right. I'm going receiver. Fuck being a DB.
Yeah, dude. I just want the NFL. Like the NFL. Like if there's one thing that's true in every American sport, regardless if it's NFL, NBA, NHL, or any sport at all, is you don't get the money back. Like, oh, you're a corner? You ain't never getting the money back. Like from being a wide receiver. Like that's not happening.
The only reason you would become a corner, and I can't believe I have to keep saying this, is if you're a receiver that can't play as a receiver in the fucking NFL.
And he
Like,
100% can.
There's no reason for him to be a DB.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He should 100%.
if he's smart, he should be a wide receiver for sure.
Yeah.
Well, if any team that picks him up is smart, like it just doesn't make sense to me to even consider him on defense.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see how the draft plays out. The next matchup we got here is Ben and Casey.
Casey, I am sorry about Will Levis. And
he
Joe
won
Burrow,
by 3 points.
Yeah. Like
Mayo and the coffee didn't
that's a
help.
wild thing. That's a wild ass thing, man.
3 touchdowns from Josh Jacobs will do that, though.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to dealing with the Bijan Robinson, Josh Jacobs stack when I have basically Brian Robinson. That's my running back.
I will say this, though. Like, I know Casey's never going to trade Josh Jacobs, but my God, could he rip some Packers fans off right now?
Oh, he could. I'm sure he could.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I didn't even think about it.
Tyreek Hill finally had a game. The Jets are terrible. If you needed a reason, the Jets are terrible.
Wait, have we said that enough? This podcast. The Jets suck. They're done. They're out
done.
to pasture. Put them down. Grab the Ruger. Fucking just end it. They're done.
One thing I did.
I still stand by my statement that they should burn it to the ground and trade everybody and just start from nothing, because like that everything they got is cursed.
One thing I did forget to bring up about that Dolphins game is so Jonnu Smith had no points in this game and then scored like 14 points in overtime and scored the game winner.
Not that he needed it, but like
not that he needed it, yeah. But I just thought that was funny.
Sorry, Ben.
3 points, man. I mean, it ended up not mattering because Ben was basically locked to get in based on the 6 seed rule. Yeah. It was more a result. The consequential part of this matchup was basically what happened with seeding had Casey won. So it's like it matters more that Casey won than it did that Ben won, if that makes sense. Because things would have played out very differently if there were more 7-7 teams.
Yeah.
But
what the fuck would have been the tiebreaker?
It's points 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I say if there's that many, we all meet up at Scott's house and play Mario Kart.
Wait, isn't like the tiebreaker?
One of the tiebreaker rules is Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it's a Super Smash original. Like
that's when we absolutely cannot resolve a tiebreaker. It is the last resort.
And we have to capture. Do you have a capture card? Because I think that's part of it.
No,
yeah,
I don't. But it would be easy to set up for sure.
Yeah, I have one. I'll be able to bring it over.
Cool.
Devontae Adams.
We would have to record that. We would need proof. Naturally.
Yeah, we couldn't just say something happened. Yeah, for sure. But Devontae Adams had a game, even though the Jets suck. I like to see Rome doing good.
Yeah, Rome had a bomb touchdown. That stat line's kind of misleading. He was by and large horrible, but got a massive touchdown, and then he also got.
Rome is a great real football player. He is not a great fantasy football player most weeks.
Right now, though,
I think that's more of it's Bears, Caleb Williams, the whole
Yeah, it's a symptom of where he's at, but at the same time, I would much rather be a good actual football player than a fantasy relevant football player. That's just my opinion, though.
I'm still all in on Rome.
Yeah, he's eclipsed.
I've always been all in on Rome, dude. He's my boy.
He's eclipsed the kind of quote unquote threshold for rookie wide receivers at 550 yards. He's at 585, and it is week 15. So Rome will be fine. It's just rough sledding for now, just because the Bears are so dysfunctional, which is to be expected. That's kind of what you were looking for. Darnell Mooney, same thing as Ray McCloud. We're in the exact same vein here. Darnell Mooney's having a little bit of a career resurgence for sure. He was kind of he was a late round wide receiver that was on a bad team, but had good traits that got traded to a team that has a rookie offensive coordinator that is just absolutely obsessed with him. So it's basically the best possible scenario. It'll be interesting to see what happens when Kirk Cousins is gone, though, because he's not going to be there forever. So,
I mean, he got a bag, so
he did get
who's
a
gonna
bag.
pick up the bag?
He got a bag.
So who's gonna pay him that bag? Ain't nobody other than the people that signed him. So,
well, this is the NFL. You can always get cut.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, here's the deal, right? If most of that money is guaranteed, you're looking at a Russell Wilson situation, but you're not Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, Darnell Mooney didn't get paid like a mega bag. He didn't get like a Christian Kirk bag, but he got a good bag. He got a medium bag. Definitely wide receiver 2 kind of bag.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh almost Allen.
He had isn't this one of his
game,
best games of the season? He's been extremely disappointing this season. Last year he was.
The whole Jags. I mean, the Jags are disappointing.
We've talked about it in the past, but we all know what's going on with the Jags. Defensively, they're just getting way too cute, and they suck. They need to fire everybody.
Linebackers 70% of the snaps and be taken seriously.
Yeah,
you got to have those guys on the field 100% of the time to run your defense. Like, come on, like get it together.
Yeah, they just need to clean house. They need to get rid of Doug Peterson and all of his cronies. Just completely wipe the slate clean. Start over from the coaching perspective. Draft some good players. You're gonna have some good picks.
I mean, they've certainly given him long enough.
Yeah. You also need to get rid of Trent Baalke. Like, that dude needs to be out of the league. Like, he's had too many stops and, like, too many failures.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you can't, like, at this point, like, if you gave Trevor, like, the power of the GM and, like, no short-term, like, no long-term memory, he'd still be a better, like, GM.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, the final matchup that we have here was the best hobo fight I've ever seen in my life. Me and Matt. I picked up 2 running backs off the waiver wire because I had absolutely no players due to injuries and bye weeks. So I was playing Isaiah Davis and Sincere McCormick as my starting running backs. And they actually scored a ton of points.
Sincere McCormick.
Yeah.
Who he play for? Don't look at the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Although, like,
that's
a top tier name. That's like a straight festival, like Key and Peele skit name.
He played for. Fuck, who do he play for? I'm not looking at my phone. I'm trying to think. Like, actually think. Is that that's not San Fran's new running back?
Their colors are black. They got black in their color scheme.
Black?
Yep, black.
Houston?
Nope.
Fuck, who is it?
Raiders.
Vegas.
Oh, the Wados.
The Wados.
I forgot about the Wados.
They have no running backs this week, and this dude actually did something. He's actually looked pretty good. It's really interesting. Like, he's running like nearly 6 a carry. Seems to have like some juice, but who knows?
Okay.
He injured. He got injured. He's a UDFA, but got injured his rookie season, missed last season due to the injury, and is now playing after the Raiders lost like 5 running backs in front of him. So, yeah. Antonio Pierce seems to like him. He's an interesting
You're telling
guy.
me that's not terrifying as a player? Like, by the way, 5 people died in front of you. Here's your rifle. Good luck, son.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
do you think
some Stalingrad shit.
Antonio Pierce makes it to next season?
No.
Like, there's all sorts of rumors that he's going to be fired, but it's just like, I don't know how he was ever supposed to succeed. Like, you give him, like, yeah, Uncle Rico's fun, but like Aiden O'Connell, Uncle Rico, like, you traded Devontae Adams halfway through the season. You got rid of Josh Jacobs. Like,
he might stick around for one more year. Like, I don't know. They're pretty patient.
He's a transition right now.
They're pretty patient with their coaching staffs. Usually, they don't just like fire. They don't just like churn.
Well, because they don't hire coaches to pick players.
Yeah, also,
that's what the owner does on that team.
Mark Davis is also cheap as fuck, so he probably doesn't want to pay anybody, and is like, yeah, let's keep this guy because he won't need a lot of money.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, because Mark Davis is the one picking the team. Like,
yeah. He's just
Al Davis did it. Mark Davis does it. That's just the way that organization runs.
Bowl cut.
They also don't have outside business interests outside of
like
Raiders.
The Raiders have always been they've always had hype men front runner coaches. Like that's who they're supposed to have. What's his name? That was my favorite coach, but they called him a racist. Fucking what was his name?
Gruden.
Gruden. Yeah, Gruden. That was their best coach. Period.
Well, Jon Gruden, like outside of like the whole racism thing, has like the craziest NFL like career. Like he got traded for 2 first-round picks and then kicked the shit out of the Raiders in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I made mistakes, it seemed, as I was watching the game on Sunday, where Tua basically needed the overtime production to even scratch the surface of what Darnold was doing to the Falcons, which was insane. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, threw a million yards.
Yeah, but who expects that out of Tua after the year he's had, dude?
Do you think that the Vikings keep him around? They move off JJ?
They don't. They've come out and said they don't want to extend him in season. So I also don't think that they really want to give him a huge bag. Like I don't see the Vikings paying,
Sam Darnold
40-50 million for Sam Darnold. Yeah.
Fuck no. Fuck no.
Like the Geno or Baker deal, which is 33 for 3.
Yeah, but
no, ask him to stay on a private deal. Like
Sam Darnold is quite literally in the MVP conversation right now. It's crazy, but that is the case.
He's not though.
He is.
He's not though.
He's actually in an MVP.
He's not jaded. He's not jaded enough to actually think that though. Like he can't be. There's no way.
The thing about the MVP conversation is you don't put yourself in it. So
yeah, like
you definitely play yourself into it, and the way he's playing, he is in contention. That's my point.
If I'm Sam Darnold, I see it with like, obviously you test the market to see if you can get your bag, but like, with the Titans, I don't think the Jets get him, but like, duh.
I can see him going to the Rams.
The Rams, yeah.
I don't.
It depends on what Matt Stafford does.
They can't afford him. The Rams have no cap.
I haven't looked at the cap situation for them, but
that's why they're fucked right now. They can't afford him. They can't afford him.
Who won this game for Casey? Who's the actual it was 3 points. Who actually won it for him?
Who won it for me? You mean? It was more it was more that CeeDee Lamb didn't do enough. Yeah, my kid is absolutely losing it, so I'm probably gonna have to wrap it up here.
Okay.
But
Aurelia, no.
Yeah, she's having a rough time. But yeah, this game basically came down. The Hobofight ended on Monday Night Football with CeeDee Lamb barely not doing enough to knock me out of playoffs.
Dude, he was trying though. I watched that game and he was getting absolutely fucking whomped while he's injured. Yeah. You could see him wince every single time he hit the ground. I felt so bad for him.
Yeah, he's hurt for sure. The Cowboys
I've been there.
Favors.
He shouldn't be on the field, in my opinion. He shouldn't even be on the field, bro.
No.
Well, we can all rest easy knowing that Ashton Genty will be a Dallas Cowboy next year.
And probably on Matt's team. We'll see.
Jerry Jones going to do it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Maybe. Well, I should probably wrap it up here. My kid is absolutely losing it right now, but I wish you guys luck in your playoffs. And Joe, I hope that you do better next year.
Well, if I don't take the third most points in the league for once ever, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, as you guys know, defense wins championships, and Steve sucks wherever he is. Sucks. As he's editing this, just know
he still sucks.
Yeah. Good luck, Steve.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck. Later.
Don't lose a toilet bowl.
Yeah, don't lose a toilet bowl.
Kisses and smooches. Bye bye.